Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome tonight to Global Impact. I'm David McQuell. Tonight you are viewing our recent edition of the subject that we have been discussing, which is Nigeria, the question of self-defense. This is very, very important, especially with the events that happened on Sunday at the St. Francis Catholic Church, the Owo in Ondo State of Nigeria, which has actually really gone worldwide, especially, with the events that happened at the St. Francis Catholic Church Owo in Ondo State, especially on the background of the killing of Deborah Samuel, the murder of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto State, the student of Shehu Shagari Federal College of Education, I believe, who was falsely accused of blasphemy. She was murdered by her classmates and burned to ashes. That hasn't died down, because that really went around the world, gained some real traction. And then suddenly, just a few weeks later, we are having these unbelievable events that happened in St. Francis last Sunday. A lot of questions have been going around. In fact, these events have really gone around the world and gained attention of people all over the place about the events that are happening in Nigeria. Unfortunately, these things did not start now. It's just that now they are getting to be known, because the media does not talk about it, and they dismiss it. And I'm going to talk about that dismissal today. And I wanted to delve into a lot of things, but today I also want to just lay the background again. And today I will really begin to get into the heart of the issue. But today we are really going to, go into the background properly and have lots of video to support what we are saying. Again, so you're really very welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Would really like to hear from you as well. If you are really touched by the content that we share, if you have questions or misunderstandings or disagreements, we'd really like to hear from you. Our email is scrolling down the bottom of your screen, which is gimpact2018@gmail.com. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and I will be right back after this break. I'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome.
This is Global Impact with David McQuell, your host. Isaiah chapter 2 verses 1 to 5 says that a time is coming when the church will rise in authority and influence and dominate the earth. And many nations will come and say, "Teach us the ways of the Lord." Global Impact is a show that inspires you as a Christian to rise up through the values of the kingdom of God and shine as light wherever you may be. We believe that missions is no longer limited to some isolated, unreached community in some dark continent. The church should reach out to all aspects of life, including politics, business, science and research, the media and diplomacy, and every aspect of human life. Join us on Global Impact, Monday through Friday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. GMT. Global Impact is broadcast on TECNTV.com. Join us.
We're going live now to the White House, where President Muhammadu Buhari is with Donald Trump for that important meeting. The bilateral, which is supposed to take place today, is holding right now. President Buhari and Donald Trump. Let's listen in on the conversation.
Very grateful to the United States for agreeing to give us the aircraft we asked for, the spare parts. We are even more grateful for the physical presence of United States military specialists that go to our institutions in Nigeria and train them and go to the front in the northeast to see how they are performing as a result of the training given to them. So the commitment of the United States in get rid of terrorism across the world, we are first-hand experience of that, and we are very grateful for it. The problem about the cattle rearers and herders in Nigeria is a very long historical thing. But the states most concerned, they knew that the Nigerian herders never carried anything more than a stick and occasionally a machete to cut down foliage and give it to their animals. These ones are carrying AK-47. So I don't think people should underrate what happened in Libya. 43 years of Gaddafi, people were recruited from the Sahel. They were taught nothing other than to shoot and kill. With the demise of Gaddafi, they moved to their countries and to their regions, and they carried away with them the only experience they have in training, using weapons. And that's what is aggravating the situation. We are doing our best to make sure we have stopped the cross borders and so on, and to get the weapons, proliferation, small arms weapons in the region checked. But it's going to take time, and the action by United States in trying to see the end of ISIS has helped us a lot, because the Boko Haram in Nigeria at one time made a statement that they were loyal to ISIS. Now that ISIS have virtually gone with the help of the United States, we are very grateful for that. And we are sure that we are stabilizing the situation of security in Nigeria. Thank you.
We have very much decimated ISIS. Much has taken place over the last 12 months. But Boko Haram has been terrible. And how did you do with the young women that were kidnapped? How is that going?
The Chibok girls and the Dapchi one. The Chibok one was before we came, 2014. We had only a number of them. We recovered about 30 of them. But the Dapchi one, there are 106 that were kidnapped. We got 100 back. 4 died. 1 is still held in captivity. And we are very grateful to the United Nations organization that is acting as in-between between us and the kidnappers. And we haven't given up. We are trying to get everybody back to join their families and their schools.
A terrible problem.
Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, so that was, I had to play that because I wanted a lot of people. I've never heard from Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria. It is rather unfortunate that he is a president of Nigeria, and we're going to get to the heart of how he became the president of Nigeria. And that interview with President Donald Trump was basically Buhari trying to buy some face, trying to get some good face in the front of the world. You know, but basically everything he said he was doing was just a lie. And we have seen that because he has achieved nothing in that respect, rather. I also want to explain to our viewers that the problem in Nigeria, people mix the whole thing up. There is the Boko Haram, which was widely known, which had been there for years, even before Muhammadu Buhari became president. That's a different thing. These are the ones that carried out sophisticated attacks with explosives and targeted churches and markets and even once the United Nations headquarters in Abuja, that's their building in Abuja, and even they targeted, eventually they targeted schools, universities, and high schools, and then eventually they began to target some mosques when they considered that some Muslims were moderates. They were not agreeing with them and giving them the opportunity. Their sectarian differences came in, and they also began to target a few mosques and also Muslim communities. But basically, Boko Haram is the sophisticated arm of the terror in Nigeria, which many people probably have heard about and many haven't. When I was traveling to the United States on February 20, 2020, I was in a plane with South African Airways. I was in a plane with a team of missionaries. I think about 19 of them who had from the United States, all spread across different states in the United States. They were coming back from Swaziland, I think. They were either coming back from Swaziland or Malawi. I can't remember very well. I can check that because I have their magazine. And they had been there for about 2 weeks. They went to build a school and do some good work there. And I sat down with one of their team members side by side, and he was excited to find out that I was a missionary and going to the United States for the first time. We got to talk and talked about issues, going on around the world, especially in Africa. He wanted to hear about some parts of Africa. He's been to East Africa. That was his first time in East Africa, and he's not been to any other part of Africa. So I asked him a question about what does he think about Boko Haram, and he has never heard about Boko Haram. And I was surprised. These are Americans who have heard about Africa, and they have traveled to Africa for missions work. And the organization itself have been to Africa several times. That wasn't the first time. But the brother that I spoke with was his first time in Africa. And he has never heard about Boko Haram. And I was like, wow. Now, so, even though it's assumed that Boko Haram is known in the United States, it's actually really known by just a few people, not really by so many people. And so that's one problem. The second one of it is the Fulani herdsmen, who are actually very brutal, very archaic, traditional, Muhammad-style, Ottoman Danfodio murderers and terrorists and jihadists. And these are the second group that I will be talking about shortly when we come back from the break. So please hang around.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Welcome back from the break. Thank you so much. David Makwel, hosting Global Impact on TECNTV.com. Thank you for tuning in today. We are talking about Nigeria. We are talking about the challenges that are going on in Nigeria, especially the most famous one, which most people, or rather a lot of people have heard about, which is the attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State, Nigeria, which is the southwest of Nigeria. So having said that, the purpose of this show is talking about the position of self-defense. There is no question about the failure of the federal government of Nigeria, which is not able to secure lives and properties, because this attacks has gone on for, as you know, probably forever. And in the last 8 years, they have intensified since Muhammadu Buhari came into power. And before he came into power, his campaign slogan was that when he comes into power, in 100 days, he will put an end to Boko Haram, which he has not even reduced their capacity. Rather, they have increased in ability. They have done daring things they wouldn't have even done if he was in power. And so, yeah, there you have it. So the federal government has failed Nigerians. And then the police also, you must understand the Nigerian police is a federal police. It is run from the presidency of Nigeria. If there is an attack, let's assume there is an attack in a village in Adamawa State, the state governor does not have an authority to issue orders to the police so that the police will intervene or any arm of the security parastatal, except if the state has its own militia, which probably 99% of the states don't, you know. So the directive has to come from the federal government, from the president. And so when there is intelligence, that there is, because most at times there are credible intelligence that there's going to be an attack, and the intelligence community in Nigeria picks it up. Now the information is passed to the Ministry of Interior in Abuja, and then passed to the presidency. And the presidency, most of the times, through the police command to the presidency. And then the president now, if he has time, he will look at it, or he could just say, well, tomorrow we'll talk about it, even when it is credible. Or he will say, let's see it, any day we are free, we're going to talk about it. The attack can even start, and the information is passed through the chains of command from the governor to the state police command. The state police command passes to the federal police headquarters in Abuja, federal police to the Ministry of Interior, passes it to the presidency, even as the attack is going on time, you know. Then the president will see if he's free, then he will think about it, or talk about it, or call the Minister of Interior, or call Defense, or whoever it is, and then they will talk about it, and then he could say, well, we will see what we can do tomorrow while the attack is going on. So in many cases, attacks happen in communities. Christian communities are attacked, and eventually the authority to act comes in 2 days, 3 days later, when the attacks have been completed. Lives have been destroyed, properties have been destroyed, homes have been destroyed, and you have widows and orphans left behind. That's how it happens. So the federal police is out of the question, is totally unreliable. Nobody can count on the police in any situation in Nigeria if there is an attack. I tell you, nobody can count on the police, nobody can count on the military. That is in itself a big problem. The federal government has failed, the police has failed, the Ministry of Defense has failed. Nigerians are basically left to themselves. So we were talking about the Fulani herdsmen, which is the second other issue in Nigeria apart from Boko Haram. The Fulani herdsmen are herders, but they are probably 99.9999999%. They are Muslims, and they are not just Muslims, but they are radical Muslims. Radical Muslims. You cannot separate their cattle rearing from their religion. And they are fundamentalists. They are, apart from that, they are generally a problem across West Africa because of their belief. They believe that West Africa is their territory, and that all other ethnic groups are just living on their territories, and that they have to conquer back that territory. And these things I'm telling you, if you just think I'm joking, just go online and Google Ottoman Danfodio and see that's their father who launched a jihad in 1804 to conquer West Africa, and he was stopped, somewhere in the middle of Nigeria, and he was actually shot at battle and he died. But he left the message behind for his children and grandchildren that they must rise up one day and take over West Africa. They must take the Quran to the sea. And so they see West Africa as their inheritance and see every other ethnic group as being a visitor, kind of a non-citizen, a non-indigent. You need to understand that. So the Fulani herdsmen, which President Muhammadu Buhari himself is one of them, in fact, he's a patron of them in Nigeria, they believe legitimately that they have to take West Africa and they have to take it not peacefully but violently or by any other means. So when Buhari came into power, it was like a signal for them that it is time for them to begin to conquer grounds. So they began. They have conquered the Hausas in the north. They dominate the Hausas in the north. The Sultanate in Sokoto State is the headquarters of the Fulanis. And so they've conquered the Hausas. The Hausas are basically subservient to them and have no say. The Hausas also, a majority of them are Muslims, but they have lots of them that are Christians who've never been Muslim before. But the Fulanis are totally Muslims, So when you get that, you understand that. You understand the reason behind their actions. So you hear a lot from the media, Western medias, every time, and also some local media who want to gain some sort of approval from Western media. They always say, "Oh, the crisis in Nigeria is not a religious crisis. It's herdsmen and farmers. They are fighting over grazing field." That is a big lie from the pit of hell. That is absolutely a big lie. This is totally a religious fight. As far as they are concerned, their intention is to kill. Their intention is to massacre, to murder. Their intention is to kill, and to kill in the name of God, and to take over the country that Allah has given to the Fulanis in West Africa. It is not farmers and herders. It is Muslims and Christians. And it is about religion as it is. I tell you the truth. And I'm not just talking. I am someone who has lost lots of family. I have my relatives, 33 of them, buried in a mass grave in Barikin Ladi in Plateau State. So I have lost families. I've lost my uncles, my cousins in the fight. And they were killed, murdered, and buried. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking out of ignorance or hearsay, or somebody said, or I read in a magazine somewhere. I have experienced it firsthand in my family, and my relatives who are still living still pass through those challenges. You can go out when it's 6 p.m. In fact, when you travel back home, if I ever travel to Nigeria, go back home, they always tell you once it's 4 p.m., please don't go anywhere, just stay around, because you cannot tell what is going to happen. So that's the reality, that's the situation. So that, with that understanding, so when Buhari became president, these people began to go around and began to maim and murder and kill and torture and, and massacre people, slaughter. When we say slaughter, we really are not just talking figuratively. We're talking about literally holding people like cattle and slaughtering them. That's what has happened. That's what has been happening. They do that, and they also are well armed with AK-47, Russian AK-47, the best weapon of war that is used everywhere in the world. They are well armed with it. That's another story for another day. How they come to afford, these are very poor cattle rearers who are taking care of cattle in the bush. How they came to get AK-47 is a big question that you should be asking the federal government of Nigeria. And how do they even train? How do they learn? When we were growing up, we had lots of Fulanis around, they come around. They were visitors. They come to our neighborhoods to graze. In fact, during the grazing season, they even come and put on their tents around our villages and stay with the community and make friends with them. With my parents, with our parents, we all grew up taking, cow milk and cheese, from them. And then after the rains are over, the dry season comes, they all go away to Cameroon, down to the south somewhere else, and then the following year they come back, and some of them we got to know them. Our parents knew them from childhood, and we got to know them. Their parents died and their grandchildren grew up, and we all knew them. But when all this crisis came around, they were a different kind of people. They attacked the same communities that have received them over the years. And I tell you, that's what it is. So that is the reason why, so it's important for you to understand. And these people are more brutal than Boko Haram, because they go through villages, burn down villages, slaughter people, shoot them down, touch houses, and wait for people to come out with their AK-47s and just kill them. And while they are doing, they are shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They are doing it to Allah. Now tell me that this is just about grazing farms. I mean, how can you go? What do you mean by grazing? Our forefathers have been grazing, have been farming this land, and these people come and say, please, we want to feed our cattle. And suddenly one day they come and say, no, it is our land that you people are living on. I mean, how does that work out? And if there was any, if it was about grazing fields, why didn't they go to the court of law? Why attack Christian communities in the night while people sleep? Kill children, toddlers, infants, pregnant women, slash their wombs. How does that have, what does that have to do with grazing community? And who actually stopped Fulani people from grazing? Have a lot of bush there that nobody is using. So who on earth has stopped them from grazing around? So actually, it's quite the situation on the ground. And I will take a break. When we come back from the break, basically, and I will show some videos more. But basically, you understand, these are the two problems. Boko Haram is one problem, and the Fulani herdsmen is another problem. I tell you, the Fulani herdsmen are more brutal than Boko Haram. Boko Haram use explosives, and you hear about it spread, terror. That's terror. But the Fulani herdsmen slip into the community at night, slaughter people and go, and that hardly gets the kind of explosive news, breaking news that you always hear. So you actually don't know what they are doing, You actually don't know what they are doing. I can tell you that it is totally brutal. Probably the Fulani herdsmen have killed maybe 10 times more than who Boko Haram have actually killed. It is terrible. And it's terrible. So I'll be right back after the break, and we will again look at these issues more squarely. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Hey, I'm Ken McClinton, the host of the Exceptional Conservative Show, live for the nation's capital. I love this cat, the Exceptional Conservative Show cat, Jacob. We love you, and we want you to know we love the fact that you watch TECNTV.com. As chairman, founder, and president, we wish you much love and much affection. I love you. I love you.
Hey, this is Pastor Greg right here watching TECNTV.com live and enjoying. You should join me here on ChildrenGenerationRadio.com, and also my other favorite thing, ministering the gospel in India.
Hi, I'm Bob Record, and as you can see, I love hunting. And I also love watching TECNTV.com. Why don't you join me in doing that? But in the meantime, I'm headed back to the field. See you later.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Jones from Beyond the Lines. And when I'm not exploring Los Angeles, I am watching TECNTV.com. TECNTV.com. I love it.
I'm David McQuell. I'm the host of Global Impact on TECN. I'm a missionary in Abidjan, West Africa, working on establishing the largest history center. Whether I'm in the field or I'm working on history, I love TECN TV.
When I'm not making delicious cookies, I'm watching TECNTV.com.
Hi, I'm Randy. I love the golf.
And I love TECNTV.com.
Welcome back, David McQuell here, hosting Global Impact. So I want us to look at this, first of all, this video, then we'll look at testimonies after this. This is a commentary on the what just happened in Nigeria. I love it when I watch it. I love what I was seeing. So I'm sure that you will enjoy it.
Somewhere between 50 and 100 Christians were massacred in church today after gathering to celebrate Pentecost in Nigeria. Violence against Christians in Nigeria has been relentless. According to Open Doors, more Christians are being killed for their faith in Nigeria than in the rest of the world combined. But you'll never hear about most of these attacks because journalists don't report them. Since their goal in life is to show us that Islam is a religion of peace and tolerance, they obviously can't post endless stories about daily Islamic terrorist attacks. So, when news about a terrorist attack against Christians somehow breaks through the media blockade, you know that it's especially bad. The New York Times reports, dozens were believed to be dead after assailants attacked a Catholic church in southwestern Nigeria on Sunday, firing on worshippers as they celebrated Mass, according to local officials. The attack at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo in Ondo State was the deadliest attack on a church in Nigeria in years and brought the kind of violence usually seen in the country's north to a relatively peaceful area of Africa's most populous nation. The attack occurred on Pentecost Sunday as dozens of worshippers were gathered at the church. At least 4 assailants stormed the building, according to the police. It was the first time that a church had been attacked in the Ondo State in recent years, bringing a new sense of insecurity to a state that had been spared the levels of violence seen elsewhere in Nigeria. Notice, most violence in Nigeria is associated with the north. Ondo State is in the south. What do we know about Nigeria that might give us some clue as to why violence is far more common in the north than in the south? Maybe we'll find a clue as we keep reading. President Muhammadu Buhari, who has promised to end Nigeria's insecurity, condemned the attack as a dastardly act. As of Sunday night, there had been no claim of responsibility, and the motive for the massacre was unclear. Always a mystery. Most attacks on churches have been in the north. I wonder why. But they have become less frequent than they were at the height of the Boko Haram insurgency around 2015. In the southwest, where the church attack took place on Sunday, there have been kidnappings, most often by herdsmen seeking ransom, and there have been conflicts with herdsmen over new restrictions on open grazing. Officials were still assessing the toll of the attack on Sunday. Videos posted on social media showed bodies lying in pools of blood between church pews. Oluwole Ogunmolosiyu, the majority leader of Ondo's state assembly, went to the scene of the massacre and said he had seen at least 20 dead, including many children. He estimated the death toll at 70 to 100. So, church attacks peaked during the Boko Haram insurgency. Strange that attacks against Christians would spike when jihadis start taking over. As always, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari condemns the attack while doing absolutely nothing to stop the violence. Buhari is either totally incompetent or he's complicit. Adelegba Timalayan, a federal lawmaker representing the Owo area, told the Associated Press that at least 50 people had been killed. The attack came amid renewed...
All right, so now again, look at it. They call it the assailants. They are not assailants, they are Muslim terrorists. They are Fulani Muslim terrorists. They don't want to call Islam. Of course, as he said in a video, that automatically it is because they basically don't want to blame Islam. They don't want to blame Islam, and they keep always saying that the reason is unknown. Again, look at this video from CGTN Nigeria, and look at what they are reporting on this attack.
Condemnation continues after the execution of 11 Christians by terrorist group ISWAP. The country's president, Muhammadu Buhari, described the killings as barbaric, saying it does not represent the Islamic faith. He says the killings are an attempt to divide the nation across religious lines.
Buhari's reaction came through an official statement released from the presidency. It says, and I quote, "These agents of darkness are enemies of our common humanity, and they don't spare any victim, whether they're Muslims or Christians. And therefore, we shouldn't let them divide us and turn us against one another." End of quote. The Islamic State group recently released a video purportedly showing the killing of 11 Christians. The group claimed government failed to negotiate their release. What's more, they're avenging the death of their leader. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed in October during a U.S. raid in Syria.
On Christmas Day, while the Christians are celebrating and the Christian has been killed, you know, it's going to bring some kind of grievances to the Christian. But by the way, I'm not saying that the Christians should react, but all we just want in this country is just peace.
It is quite worrisome, stating that those people that are having this issue don't even know how to go about it. So I want to believe that we still have a long way to go as regards this. The federal government needs to buckle up. They have to look for modalities to comb this current challenge.
Buhari himself, a Fulani Muslim, has severally been accused of being biased towards the religion. But he has urged Nigerians to be united in the fight against insurgency and avoid conspiracy theories that serve the interests of the terrorists. Terrorist groups have remained active in Nigeria's northeastern region in the past 10 years. Tens of thousands have been killed and millions displaced from their homes. The wanton destruction has also stalled economic activities in the region, leading to a massive humanitarian crisis. Kelechi Amekalam, CGTN Abuja, Nigeria.
Thank you, CG. Wow. Thank you, CGTN, for that reporting. And of course, you see, the president is always calling it conspiracy theories, and yet they cannot prove wrong the fact that these issues and these attacks. Why is it that these attacks are by Muslims, and why is it that the victims are always Christians? I mean, how do you explain that away? And how comes the president, of all the killings, the murder, the attacks, and all the things that happen in Nigeria, there are nobody is always caught. The motive is always never known. I mean, nobody's ever arrested, you know. And even if somebody is arrested, caught, you know, before you know it, the police will let the person go. They will get a call from Abuja, and then the person is gone. The person is released and go back to society and go about doing the same thing. You know, the states that have suffered a lot in these attacks are, of course, Borno State again, but Kaduna State, Plateau State, Benue State, and Adamawa State, you know, they have suffered a lot from these attacks. And attacks by the Fulani herdsmen are honest, unbelievably brutal and merciless, you know, and beyond. Now, so if again, so the point is, how did we get here? And how did we get here? We're going to watch a video shortly before we round up this show. How did we even get here? Well, we got here because Buhari became president. Before Buhari became president, President Goodluck Jonathan was doing everything to try to end the Boko Haram crisis. At that time, the Fulani herdsmen never came up. And of course, again, the Muslims in the north kept sabotaging Goodluck Jonathan. And every effort that Goodluck Jonathan took about this crisis, they said it was an attack on Islam. It was always referred to as an attack on Islam, And because of that, his efforts never really got to the place that he wanted them to get to, you know. And so, again, I said yesterday that Muhammadu Buhari, who is always known as a fundamental radical Muslim, who is in no way moderate, in no way considerate, and who is Fulani, the fundamental Fulani, who believe that their heritage is to take Islam from the north to the Atlantic Ocean by force, actually by jihad. You know, how do we know that? Muhammadu Buhari was, first of all, a Muslim general who seized over power in 1983, I believe, 1983. We know also that since he was overthrown 2 years later by General Ibrahim Babangida, all these crises that have been happening in Nigeria, he never condemned it. In fact, he stood by it. There are videos, evidence of him saying he stands for the Islam, that he is going to do everything to see that jihad is waged in Nigeria. I mean, it's a record. I'm not making this up, you know. So, when Jonathan was president, they kept sabotaging him. In fact, Jonathan would have ended Boko Haram if President Barack Obama had agreed with him. And many times, Goodluck Jonathan has tried to purchase ammunition from the U.S. government, from the U.S., so that the Nigerian Air Force will be lethal and capable of bringing an end. They know where Boko Haram is, in the forest. Nigeria is not some jungle with caves like Afghanistan. So they are just out there in the bush, out there in the forest, Sambisa forest, where they could have been ended. But they couldn't, because the Nigerian Air Force was sabotaged. They didn't have the weapons that can do it. They didn't have the drones. The U.S., of course, Barack Obama kept bragging about, oh, he supports Nigeria, that the Boko Haram is brutal, that they need to end it, you know, but he never gave any support to it. Never gave any support to it. Will not sell aircrafts to Nigeria, will not sell them weapons, in the name of, first of all, in the name of all the Nigerians military, they have a record of human rights abuses. Well, Boko Haram, you're talking about human rights abuses? Boko Haram was bombing churches, bombing schools, markets, and you are talking about human rights? Or they don't respect the rights of the terrorists? All right. So the terrorists are respecting the rights of the people they're murdering, right? Well, later on, of course, when the kidnapping of the Chibok girls came up, you know, how Michelle Obama made a name for herself with the Bring Back Our Girls, you know, carrying Bring Back Our Girls. And people really believe that, whoa, Michelle Obama is really, really, really fighting for Nigeria. Well, it was all a lie. Because why didn't the U.S. government help Goodluck Jonathan recover the girls? Well, we know, we remember then, I don't know if you people remember, but I remember very vividly clear that some 4 Republican senators visited Nigeria, the Nigerian government, and tried to talk with them on how they can help. Of course, the Republicans were not in power at that time. The U.S. government, the federal government, I mean, when you talk about the White House, the Senate and the House were under the Democrats, you know, so there was little they could do. I remember when they said, they were the one that came and said, brought out the truth. It was the truth that Barack Obama said that unless Nigeria changes its stand on gays, that they are not going to help Nigerian government to recover the girls. Of course, they never did. They didn't help Nigeria because the Nigerian government will not change. And I don't think any country in Africa, apart from South Africa, will change their stance on gays. We are very conservative, very traditional conservative, and we cannot accept gays, you know, gay kind of life. I mean, there are gays, I know, but it cannot be official policy in any way in any African society, actually, you know. So that's how Barack Obama did not help Nigeria. And then they kept sabotaging the Goodluck Jonathan administration when John Kerry, first of all, Hillary Clinton refused to declare Boko Haram as a terrorist organization, even though it was bombing churches, markets and schools, maiming people, kidnapping young girls and training them and arming them with explosives to go and destroy Hillary Clinton was still saying, no, they are a charity organization. Barack Obama was saying we are a charity organization. Of course, we know why later, because the Clinton Foundations and, of course, Barack Obama, they must have been gaining some sort of funding, some charity giving from the sponsors of Boko Haram, unfortunately. And then they kept sabotaging the Goodluck Jonathan administration. When John Kerry will go to Nigeria, meet the Muslim Sultan in Sokoto and the Emir of Kano and then all the Muslim leaders, and discussing what they think should be the future of Nigeria. And the president of Nigeria had no idea what they were discussing, because John Kerry will come into the country, go and do his thing, and then see the Muslim leaders, and then come back and say, hey, hi, I just came around and I'm going. And Goodluck Jonathan had no idea what was going on. If that is not sabotage, I don't know what it is. And again, also, when the election comes in, we know how Barack Obama helped Muhammadu Buhari by sending David Axelrod to Abuja to be, to be the kind of the trainer, the mentor, the trainer of the Buhari campaign. All these things are there on record. If you get the Goodluck Jonathan's book, Transition Hours, you'll see details of it. And even the last hours, Barack Obama made a direct speech to Nigerians. How do you make a speech to Nigerians as a foreign head of state? What authority do you have? Nigeria is not a colony of the United States. Well, he did that so that he would convince Nigerians. He was cashing on his popularity as a black president in America to convince Nigerians so that they can vote Goodluck Jonathan out. And he kept saying it, that it is time for Nigeria to change, that they need to change, vote leaders that will bring change. Of course, what he was basically saying is vote Goodluck Jonathan out. Buhari came into power and Nigeria has been experiencing genocide. It is genocide indeed, because there are mass graves everywhere and there are Christians being slaughtered day and night. There is basically no week in Nigeria that there is not a mass killing somewhere, beheading of Christians, capturing students, Christian students. And I remember a young lady who was traveling from Bauchi to Adamawa State for her wedding, a week to her wedding, and they were their bus was stopped and they were slaughtered. She was slaughtered by the roadside with her friends who were her maids, their bridal team. It's incredible, the things that have happened in Nigeria. I'll be right back after this break, and we'll watch our last video. So please hang around.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Dreams are potential seeds. They need someone to believe in them. They need someone to finance them. And they need someone to embrace them. Partner today with the World Mission Center, Abidjan, Ivory Coast, and help us win Africa for Christ.
That fateful days, I was around with my brother and my mother at home. Then they just come and enter our village. Then I come out from the house. I run. Then my mother, she's still in the house. Then they come and shoot her inside the house. Then me, I run. My brother, him too, is trying to run, but they shoot him in the road where he is running. My father, him too, he escaped. from them. Him too, he run. I do not see their face, but they are wearing black sweater, cardigan. We are speaking Fulani language.
So that very day, we are all at home. So we just hearing gunshot all over the town. So from that time, we just ran, all of us ran into room. So we just divided ourselves. I went to the other room and my aunties and my brothers, they are in the other room. So we now heard that, I thought that it was securities. So they are just coming and they are dropping them in cars. So they now said they are mixed up with Muslim people in X, and they are saying that they should ask that they should direct them all their Arna house. So they now show them their own house. So they just boggled the door. So I was inside. They started shooting. So I just ran and entered into the bedroom like this. I just hide myself under the bed. So they are just shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They are just firing anyhow. So from that time, I just kept quiet inside. Then they carry fire. They just come they enter with petrol. Then they set the fire on inside the room. So I was inside. I just started crying. So the other room that my aunties are there, so they just started crying that they kill me. So they don't know that I'm alive. From that time, they now went out. So smoke. I just come and stay close the door. So then they now enter the other room. That they go and met my auntie, and my brothers there. So they just started firing. Then they now ask, where is your father? Then one small girl said, our father is not around. And they now ask them that, where is his gun? Then they answer, don't have gun. So they just start firing. Then there is one small girl. She's a Muslim girl, very small. She just hide inside there. Then she said she's not a Christian. Then they now ask her name. So I just forget her name. So she just told them the name, and they saw her with a hijab. So they just fire my auntie and 4 of them inside the room. So I'm the one, we are 3 that escaped. The other one, they shot him, is in Jude now.
In the Estlands, one woman went to the farm, they went and killed him, and they also cut that boy. And the Fulani, we heard that the Fulani in Estland, they said that this one is just a small boy. He's a cattle rearer, that this boy cannot kill. So from that time, we had gun shooting. After some time, then we see Soy. We see smoke, that they are burning houses in Soy. And Ngar and Yalwa, we just saw, we are in Takruk, we are looking at the smoke. The smoke was there that they have burned houses in there. Then our youths were behind village. Then one boy comes, one man, his name is Polycarp. All of you should run, The Fulani are coming now, the Fulani are coming. That is why we just run and leave our houses. We run to the camp with the security men. They accommodate us there. So we were there hearing gunshot from all over, gunshots. Then after, it was in the morning, Sunday morning. So after the thing has, they have stopped the shooting. Then some of our men went inside the houses. That all our houses were burned, including the church, the vehicle to the church, the RCC chairman house, the LCC chairman house, including my house. Everything is only this dress that I'm wearing, they are come out with it. Nothing, even Alura, I didn't pick from my house. They burned everything.
That very Saturday, I was in Jos. I came to Jos for other things. Then we were together with my wife. She came to Biladi and she went back home. Then I was in Jos. I finished whatever I want to do. Then my wife just called me that I should not come back home because we are told that Fulani headmen surround the town. So she even called me twice. She told me that our town is on fire, that Excellence is on fire. I should just stay back in Jos. That whenever the place is calm, she will call me to come back. Then, as I was seated, somebody called me that my house was burned. And I told him that that is not what happened. And thereafter, her sister just called that they shot my wife and my beautiful wife, that she's 38 years old, and my son, Nasno, is 9 months old. He is 9 months old.
Your wife's name?
She's Janet Nuhu.
Janet
Nuhu Gyang, yes. She was shot too.
Babu gidaje, babu yan wane, babu yaya babu. Amma Ubangiji da ya rage saran mu da rai, mun ce mushi mun gode.
I thank God. I thank God. My husband died. This is 6 years now. All my children are at school, and now they say they have carried their food. I don't know. What will I give them now? This food that we held in there, I know God is alive. But how can I be able to give these children? How can I be able?
Thank you for joining. I will always say that you should pray for Nigerian Christians all over Nigeria, especially in the Middle Belt, in the north, where they have gone through. You can have had the testimonies yourself. There's nothing else I can add. I can just say pray for Nigerian Christians. God bless you. See you tomorrow.